Testing. I don't even know why the fuck I'm saying that. Hi everyone, Spilled Chef here. How's it going? I just thought I would make a quick video to kind of go over the brand, what's next, etc. And I guess discuss a couple of things and maybe get some people's thoughts. I've written some notes, so if I look down, it's because I'm looking at my notes, obviously. But I'm pretty much just speaking without script and just keeping it simple. This video will be split into 4 different parts, and yeah, let's just fucking get into it. So, introduction, Build Chef. I am Build Chef. I am the guy that has just been posting all of these videos, the one solo guy who has been putting together these videos for the last, well, since the beginning of the year till now. In this time, I have managed to accumulate a couple of things in terms of achievements, which I will go over just for the sake of credibility and understanding, but I'll also delve into a little bit more about me and kind of what these numbers mean and everything kind of around that. So in fact, let's just start. My name's Mikhail. Simple as that. I have been on YouTube as well as a few other socials for many years, not through Build Chef, but through kind of like personal means. YouTube being my oldest platform that I've used. I've been using YouTube since before Google acquired it back in around 2006. So that is kind of like my earliest memories of YouTube. I'm 28 years old, so it goes without saying, I have been on YouTube since I was fucking like 11 or something. And I did used to post videos on YouTube, whether it was funny memes, take for example, Harlem Shake. Yeah, that's how far we're going back. My most successful video to that kind of time period was a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon video that I posted, which was essentially just like Wonder Mail codes. For anyone who doesn't know, Wonder Mail codes was just the essential of like, I don't know, like a code that you put in that gives you certain missions, that whatever. But that video back around that time accumulated like 20,000 plus views. So that was kind of like my first viral-ish video, which for those times, 20,000 views was actually quite a lot. And then YouTube acquired, or rather YouTube was acquired by Google. And since that pivotal moment in around 2006, 2008, sometime in that period, a lot of things have changed. Some things for the good, monetization, community features, opportunities. But there have also been a slew of bad changes. Ads in general, just ads, right? Okay, like, don't get me wrong, it's part of the ecosystem, but I think we can all agree that the ads situation is egregious amongst all platforms, including and mostly YouTube. There's also the algorithm, which I will touch on in a moment. Yeah, that is just kind of a background to me. So I created the Build Chef kind of video / brand, rather the channel, what it is today, for a few basic reasons. At the end of the year, I went through some very deep emotional things. I won't touch on that very much because it's not relevant, but at the beginning of the year, I said, well, I'm fucking lonely. Let me just make something. Fuck it. I have the skill set. I'm intelligent enough. Let me just do it. So I decided to do it. I've been playing video games since, well, forever, and I've always been into roguelikes and things of that nature that involve build crafting, RPGs. Kind of my, I guess, most memorable experience will always be Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, but, you know, Borderlands, Dark Souls, big fan of Dark Souls, a lot of MMOs, etc. And if there's one thing that has been kind of like my identifier, my kind of like key part of who I am when it comes to these games, is making unconventional builds or picking things that are outside of the meta. I don't like the meta. Don't get me wrong, the most effective tactic available is, by its name, the most effective tactic available, but that's fucking boring. I think there was a quote, something along the lines of, given enough time, human beings can basically like take the fun out of anything and make things as efficient as possible to the point where it's no longer fun. That's kind of what the meta does, especially in a competitive sense, which I don't think all games should be competitive, although a lot of games can and have become competitive over the years. That's just what it is. So at the beginning of the year, I just said, fuck it, I want to create this channel because I just want to interact. I just want to build a community. I just want to be able to share the joy that I have through video games with other people. And, well, to this date, what I've achieved so far, so 2 million plus views across all of my socials, 10,000 plus profile visits across all my things, 100k plus likes across everything, 20k plus shares across everything, and whatever the fuck I wrote here, 10k plus something, whatever the fuck. But needless to say, within this space of, this year, I've managed to accumulate all of that. All organic, no ads, no shares. Well, I have been shared once or twice by my more famous friends, but they treat my content like, anyone would. If they like it, they share it. If they like it, they like it. If it's worth sharing, they share it. It's as simple as that. Because that's just the type of person I am. That's just the type of people I keep around me. People that are critical, people that are loving, people that are supporting. And it's a big thanks to all of the people who have supported me along the way. You know who you are. But it's also a big thing for everyone else who has followed me, who I don't know personally. The random people in Europe and America and, Asia, different parts of the world that have followed me and liked my content and commented on my content. And even people who haven't actually interacted with my content through a follow, but just simply liked, shared, whatever. I appreciate every single one of you. Which I think is something that I hear quite a lot from other people that are in the content space. But really and truly, for me, it's never really been a numbers game. It's never really been about chasing views and chasing all of these like big things. Mind you, it's fun. It's cool to show off that I can do something which, if I'm quite honest with you, it's quite easy. You just post consistently. But in posting consistently, and just based on my history of social media, I've been able to understand the algorithm and ultimately understand my place in the algorithm and how I want to move forward. So, as I said, introduction, this is who I am, this is what I've achieved, this is why I've done what I've done, which is, I guess, kind of an amalgamation of quite a few sections. Build Chef isn't exactly how I identify myself. Rather, I want Build Chef to be something that can identify a community, that can be something that people call themselves. You are a Build Chef if you are someone who likes to try something that's non-meta and unconventional. And what do I mean by this? Typically in video games, RPGs especially, there is a metric of damage, right? I'm basically going to give you the layman terms, which is damage, numbers, what you've attributed, like what you've dealt to a enemy target. And typically the most effective tactic available will be a combination of offensive and defensive items, abilities, whatever, to ultimately achieve the goal of getting the most amount of damage out to achieve the get. Like, that's just it, right? You just deal damage to something and you win. Typically, that damage doesn't really come with prerequisites, Buy big item, for example, for League of Legends. Buy an Infinity Edge. Buy something that gives you attack speed. Buy something that maybe gives you lifesteal. Cool, right, big numbers, whatever. But for me, what identifies a Build Chef is someone who creates something that actually has a few other conditions. For example, in Elden Ring Night Rain, inflicts poison on an enemy will start healing you. Inflict frostbite creates a cloud of frost. These other prerequisites, these weirder, stranger, more not complicated, but more taxing prerequisites are what I like. That ability to bring together something that has cohesion, creates something that is otherwise not easily, but has a big payout. And that's the thing, it's about having a big payout. It's all good having a poison build that creates a poison cloud, but what if that poison cloud then empowers your team, empowers you, you hit something again that's poisoned, it does a big massive damage. Like, do you know what I mean? It's about having big payouts for things that are typically a little bit more difficult to achieve. Which goes back to, I guess, my purpose, right? This is not for views. It's for the love of creation, which unfortunately, based on the algorithm and just the state of social media, that is no longer a thing. It's not to say that there aren't creators out there that enjoy creating, but there's always the external pressure of, does what I create meld fit the algorithm versus being something I just like, being something that person just enjoys, being something that that person just has a passion toward. If you're a big creator, you're almost certainly having to deal with bots. That's just the case. People point fingers and say, you use bots, and you know what? I'm sure there's quite a few people that do, not pointing fingers. There's also a percentage of people who don't, that unfortunately have a lot of bots come to their page. It just is what it is. Bots profit off of attention. So if you're a big channel, you're going to have bots. Just is what it is. And there's nothing you can do about that. It happens in the music industry. It happens in the content creation industry. It happens in most creative industries that involve the online space. How did I learn about this? Well, I've created for, 9 months, 10 months. I've seen it. It's part of a reason why I left Twitch. Twitch has its own slew of problems, which I won't touch on again for the scope of this video, and it's already touching 15 minutes, but that's just the case of it. The next thing I wanted to touch on was actually kind of, I guess, the last point, or the second to last point, which is the algorithm. I've obviously briefly spoke about this throughout this video, but the regurgitation of content is probably the most egregious part, one of the most egregious parts of content creation in 2025. It's that I've noticed with my videos, if I want to get a quick buck, if I want to get quick views, I know how to do that. It's easy. Just regurgitate facts. It's as simple as that. Just regurgitate facts. I promise you, if you want a lot of views, just regurgitate facts. Just regurgitate memes that you've seen over the past 5-10 years. Do that every single day. You will build a following. You will get likes. You will get shares. You will get everything. Just regurgitate it. Because there will always be a subset of people who haven't seen what you've seen. Go onto Twitter, get memes from Twitter, post them on Insta, post them on TikTok, post it on YouTube. You will get views. You will get follows. You might even make money. I'm just telling the truth. That just is what it is. Sometimes I've regurgitated facts for quick views. I'm not gonna act like I haven't. But asterisks, it's been things I've generally had an interest in. It's been things I've generally felt is worth sharing to my followers, my communities. It's news that I've come across organically and gone, oh my God, this is cool. One of my most popular videos today on TikTok, 500k plus views, comments, etc. That's pretty much what put me on the map for a short time. That was my virality moment. That's where I accumulated the majority of my views on TikTok. Was simply a snippet from a Night Rain video wherein it showed off the deflect mechanic of one of the classes. I blew up. I had to turn off notifications off my phone. It was crazy. It was fun. At one point, someone disagreed with me. There was many people who disagreed with me. At one point, there was someone who disagreed with me who I actually then posted a second video that then ended up getting 250k as a start in terms of views. That person was harassed. They messaged me saying they were being harassed. I saw this. I would try to back them up in comments. Eventually, I deleted the video. I don't give a fuck about views. I care about people. Which I guess leads to my last point. But I don't want to regurgitate content. And if I'm not chasing views, well, I've already told you the purpose of what I'm doing. So what's left? What's next? What's next for Build Chef? What's next for me? Now, I was going to come back on the 29th, Monday just coming, and I was going to, talk about things and post videos every single day till the end of the year. I want to achieve 100k likes on my TikTok, just because it would be fun. I'm already at 96.4, 96.5k. Would be fun. But don't really want to do that anymore because I don't find any pleasure in it. I don't find pleasure in playing the game that everyone is being told to play. You'll get analytics from TikTok. Make sure you post every day. You'll get analytics from YouTube and Instagram especially. Instagram recommends you post every single day in order to meet those things. At one point on my Instagram, for a small channel with only 66 followers, I was reckoning 300,000, 30,000, 300,000. I can't count at this point. A lot of views, a lot of comments, a lot of this. But what does it all mean? Because I dated a girl who had 7 million followers on TikTok. And I remember one of the first things she told me was that she wanted me to guess how many followers she had. This was about a year ago. At the time, I did not give a fuck. At this point, I still don't give a fuck. Because what do those numbers mean when, let's be real, vast majority of them are bots? When you are noticed by brands, it's so they can use you. What do I mean by they can use you? Well, if you're popping, brands want to work with you. You got to make ends meet if you want to be in the content creation game. If that's what you want to do, be in the content creation game. Make money from it. Do brand partnerships. But brands will use you. Look at Honey, for example. The browser extension which helped users find discounts. I never used it because I just don't believe in free shit. I've worked in an industry where I understand money to an extent. Honey always looked dodgy to me. I never used it. Years later, we find out that Honey was dodgy. Now, all of these reputable creators had to cut away from it because it was shit. Did it hurt? Of course it hurt. It hurt some of these fan bases, but for the most part, we all kind of banded together and said, it's actually not the fault of the creators who banded together with Honey, more so Honey for being disingenuous and essentially doing fraud. Allegedly. This is what it is. That is content creation. There's also the other side of it, which is outrage marketing, which I'm not going to get into that. People have tried to say I'm a rage bait. I don't believe in rage bait. A friend of mine said, time is a hefty currency. But nowadays, people spend their time liking the same shit, regurgitating the same shit. And it's just boring. It's pathetic. No. You're not pathetic for consuming it. Rather, we live in a society that bolsters, uplifts pathetic concepts. Because when it's all said and done, none of this shit really matters. And that's not me being some doomer or whatever. It's just when all's said and done, doesn't matter if you're a big creator, a small creator, none of this shit matters as people don't come first. Time is a hefty currency. So that's why everything I've ever created has been for the purpose of respecting people's time. So what's next? For Build Chef, I want to create 1 to 3 videos per week. Maybe it'll be less. But the videos will be designed to highlight a build in depth. Simple as that. I'm no longer interested in making short form content that, unless I find it funny or cool or whatever and shows off something that is like whatever, great. But I'm going to be posting less. I'm probably going to have less followers. I'm probably going to have less likes, 1 or 2, 3. I don't care. I just don't care. Because for anyone who's watched up to this point, the irony, talking for 20 minutes, but I hope you can kind of see where I'm coming from. Your time is important. Who you are is important. And whatever direction social media goes in, which, honest opinion, the pendulum has swung in the wrong direction for way too long. We are in a, to say it for better words, slop. We are in a slop generation. We are in a slop state of social media. Consumption right now on social media is absolute slop. Compared to, before YouTube was acquired, maybe even a bit after YouTube was acquired. Now the internet is just pretty shit. This is what it is. So that's the plan, and that's everything I wanted to say. I again want to say thank you to everyone for your time, and thank you to everyone who has maybe taken the time to listen to this monologue. And that's it. That's basically it. Build Chef out.